Hello and a warm welcome to yet another episode of the BizWiz Talk Show. Artificial, yes, you heard it right. Artificial, heart to heart conversations with business owners, CEOs, MDs, experts who have been there, done it, seen it, experienced, and are willing to share that knowledge and wisdom with us so that we learn through that wisdom. And today we have a very, very special guest in Dr. Raghunandan Jagdish. He is the MD and CEO of Nandan GSE Private Limited and leads a dynamic team of 250 high performers who solve customers' material handling problems in aviation, aerospace, and defense and manufacturing sectors. Bespoke solutions as well as high quality products backed by reliability and after sales service to improve the customer's productivity, performance, and safety is the calling card of Nandan GSC, and they strongly believe in the Make in India and Deliver Worldwide principle. Dr. Raghunandan, or Dr. Raghu, as he is known as, is a PhD from Robert Sorbonne University and also holds a master's in mechanical engineering from Texas A&M University. He's one of the foremost thought leaders in the material handling industry and is an expert at planning, kaizen, lean, world-class manufacturing, and also designing for vertical factory. He stays in Navi Mumbai and travels all around the world. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to invite Dr. Raghunandan Jagdish to the BizWiz Talk Show. Welcome, Dr. Raghu.
Thank you, Dr. Shankar.
Thank
Proud to
you.
be here,
And it's an
honored to be
absolute,
here. Thank you.
yes. If I have missed out on something, feel free to add.
Oh, no, no, you blew my trumpet a little too much. Thank you for that.
All right, all right. So I know that you've been in this business for over 2 decades, but let me take you back to the origins and the vision with which you stepped in. So, what really inspired you to start this business, or I won't say start, to join this business, and what's the core vision driving it forward?
Right. So my dad was like he was employed with the company for, and he worked there for a long period of time, and I think he would have continued to do so. The company shut down, so he had a choice whether to get back into employment somewhere else or to try to do something on his own. That's how he was an accidental entrepreneur, and that's how Nandan Enterprises was formed in 1991. Right since the beginning, even when I was at school, I used to go to the factories quite often. I used to be quite excited about looking at the machines, the trucks, and the way things were like molten. How you could change the utility and shape of metal to convert it into doing something that mankind will use in a better way. So I was always excited about this whole hydraulics, machines, and mechanicals mechanisms, so to speak. And then I went to study. I did my bachelor's in engineering, mechanical engineering from Mumbai. Then when I went to study to the US, my idea was to stay there for a little bit and come back with something, bigger. But unfortunately, 9/11 happened right in front of me, and I came back to India both with respect to that and listening to Vajpayee ji where he talked about India is shining. So I thought, okay, let me come back and do that. So by the time I came back, it was about 19 people in the organization at Nandan Enterprises, and we had a good niche business of making some high lift trucks for food catering around India. Aviation was just about starting up, so set up Nandan GSE Private Limited, set up a brand new team of people, expanded, and very quickly, I think we reached to a good strength of about 100 plus people and spread across more than 25,000 square feet of space. Then we expanded a little bit further. So fast forwarding to today, we are about 250 people spread across 1 lakh square feet of factory space. We make here and deliver all around the world. So the vision of doing this exactly was that saying, with industrialization, we were at least about, I think, 50 to 60 years behind mainstream developed countries. And if we wanted to go away from being a developing or a third world country, like people used to call us, to a developed country and to be a leader in the world, we had to work on the economy, in which case manufacturing had to, contribute in a big way. So in that manufacturing, we helped make systems and processes which improve productivity, performance, and safety. And that's the basic uh, focus on which we always built on.
Mm. Lovely, lovely. So my learning is that always follow your heart, your core calling.
Yes.
I think you were at US and you got that calling, and it's going to be make in India. I would say you got this vision 20 years back, and the government is
Yes.
propagating it now. Make in India and take it to
So,
the world.
so
Much
as a
wise.
caveat, in 2007 onwards, much before the world knew that Modi would one day be the Prime Minister of India, on my brochures always it was written proudly made in India and delivered worldwide.
Super.
So Modi ji stole from me the little line, I think.
Brilliant. Okay, great, great. So yes, great learning that follow your heart. That's my first learning. Brilliant. But it wouldn't have been without the obstacles, the challenges that you would have encountered. So please share some of the obstacles, challenges that you encountered, and how did you navigate through them to achieve this growth, the significant growth that you have achieved?
Right. Always an interesting question. The There are going to be ups and downs in the journey all the time. 2008, we had a big, downturn in aviation as well as global economy, recession hitting, and it was very, very tough times during then. But I think, and then again, maybe in 2014, there was another round. But all through, what we decided was the aspect of resilience was what we wanted to keep on, and we were supported by the employees, the bank, the suppliers, customers. And so we always said, okay, if there is a little bit of dip in the short term, it's okay to sustain that, but in the long
Sure,
term the vision has to be there, which is much bigger than what we see in the immediate path. So the big hairy audacious goals were always looked up at, and that's what kept motivating to going forward. And
brilliant.
more importantly, I think the sectors that we chose, aviation, defense, material handling for industry, like I said, we were very much behind what the developed countries were. So that gave a good opportunity that at least for the next 15, 20 years, there would be a good growth into that. And we were never complacent. We were always working on improving what we had last year and making it better this year. So not just copying somebody's products, but actually innovating and developing, going back to the customer. Like we have our manifesto, which all of us
Sure,
read with hands on the heart. One of the important sentences in that goes in saying, "It does not matter what I want to sell. What matters is what my customer wants to own." So
wow,
that's the reason why in consultative selling, we always ask the customer, what is it that he wants to achieve? And based on that, we've had, very, very fantastic applications like taking an elephant to the third floor of a building, or
right,
lifting up strategic armament, or even moving the prime minister of the country on an electric float. So we've done all
wow,
of these first time applications in India precisely because we believe in one of Richard Branson's quotes. If somebody offers you an amazing opportunity that you know nothing about, first say yes and then find ways to do it. So
sure,
that uh, with the coupling of being positive, because it's very easy to go negative when your
correct.
cards and chips are down, but being positive in all circumstances and still looking at growth in the long term, I think that's what's kept us afloat and kept us strong and going.
Brilliant, brilliant. Wow. I mean, I don't have words here to say, but then the learnings are that don't worry about where you are right now. You may think that you're behind, but there's an opportunity in that. And if
Yep,
somebody offers you an opportunity, take it first, even if you don't know anything about it. Take it first, and then you'll figure out how to do it, isn't it? Those are the
exactly.
two key learnings for me. Brilliant. But I am sure it wouldn't have been without mistakes. So, what kind of mistakes did you make along the way, and how did you learn? I mean, mistakes, we say mistakes, but there's always a learning from it.
Learning.
What did
Yes.
you learn, and how did you pivot out of those mistakes?
So I also believe in the same thing that there's a formula one of my coaches taught me that results is a multiplication of M into A into D into E, right? So M is a motivation. So by default, you are motivated generally, always. A is the
Correct.
action that you take, right? D is the direction that you have to take the action in, and E is the effectiveness. So the direction is very important because if you're in a wrong direction, it could be like going down. Your
Correct.
effectiveness will always improve. So as long as there is a trend, you can begin with a 25% effectiveness, but as long as you keep going higher and higher, like in mathematics, it's not addition. So if everything is 25%, your results are like 12.5%. 25 into
Correct.
25 into 25 into 25. It's only 12.5%. But if the only thing in all this that can go above 100 is the action. So if you
Correct.
take 200% action, and some of them are not in the absolute right direction, but they're nearby there, you still can achieve results which is close to 100% of what is your potential. So
Yeah.
I completely believe that every learning, a lot of them is STEM, always is with the self. Because my
Correct.
dad was a first generation entrepreneur and looking at his style of functioning, you always believe saying you need to have full grasp on the business, you need to control everything about it, you need to know right from who's entering the gate to what's the net stock that
Correct.
exists in the business. So you tend, of course, data driven, but more than the data driven, we were just stuck on those numbers of the data. Uh,
Correct.
I think close to about 5 odd years ago when I started taking a little call that I will read a lot more. Started reading 50
Mhm.
books a year. A lot of them were
Wow.
business books. So I got back into the reading habit. Realized that you don't need to know everything. You don't, and if you know everything, the problem is you will compete with everybody in your organization, and then the
Correct.
organization will not grow. It will be like a big banyan tree. Everybody will be like very small underneath it. The banyan tree will look big. So
Correct.
2019, when I took over as the MD of the company, one of the first things I did was I elevated my supervisors to managers and my managers to leaders. I moved them
Right.
one level up. Started looking for more people from out who can come and join. We set up something called a leadership council (LC). So with the key team members, uh, started developing the vision and the goal. We follow this system called the OPSP, the one-page strategic plan, which is from Vern Hanish's book Scaling Up.
Right.
And that 2019 onwards, year on year, I sit with my team, we co-develop it, we publish it at the end of the, let's say it takes 2 to 3 days to actually reach to what is the major impact items of this particular year. Then we break it down into the quarter, then it is broken down into the month and the week. Then the reviews are done accordingly. But
Correct.
core of what we said was there are three things. One is the firm, which is things that you would not want to ever compromise on. So those are the values
Correct.
that we bring onto the table. That is realistics,
Correct.
responsiveness, excellence, your so the innovation, etc. So all those things are non-compromisable. Performance could
Correct.
be okay. Performance doesn't
Correct.
come there because people will keep improving as they do.
Correct.
But whatever lessons we made, it's like in Google Maps you would put a destination, and by
Correct.
mistake, especially in the US, when you drive out of an exit, you might need to take a 10-mile detour to come back. But as long as
Correct.
you're asking the right questions to the right
Correct.
people, they might guide you back. So if you follow Google Maps or if you stop and ask somebody, they might guide you back to the road. But as long as you have enough fuel in the car to do it, you can still reach your destination. It's okay to be late. So I've
Awesome.
always taken learnings of failures in a similar
Right.
manner.
Right.
There are way too
Brilliant.
many. It's like 2 3 hours to even recount all the failures that were done.
Right. That's what has made you now. So that's the MADE formula, MADE for me. Motivation. Have the motivation to learn from your mistakes. Take actions, massive actions, and make sure that you are on the right direction. And if you're losing direction, take help. Don't be afraid to take help. And if you do all these three, your effectiveness is going to increase. Brilliant. Brilliant. Dr. Raghu. What is the next big goal then for Nandan GSC and how do you plan to achieve it? You've come
So
so
we have a
far.
country.
Tell me.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. So for me, my target market, on the funnel is the 1.4 billion Indians who exist and the 7 billion humanity that exists worldwide. Because the mission
Right.
statement that we have is to, make every human do better work and empower every life we touch so that they can do better things than do manual handling. So today, anybody who does manual handling is a potential customer for me. So of course,
Right.
that's on a higher side. But beyond that, we think that for manufacturing industry to grow to a different level, they will have to invest into material handling systems, and we are at the forefront of that. In aviation, the plane needs to take off. It has so many equipment around it, and in today's day and age, I think we are at par with what's happening in developed countries, so to speak. I've invested a lot of time, effort to travel to these countries, see how they work. I studied in the US, got a PhD from France. So there is a global view. I see my competition in India as good to have, but the main competition and benchmarking is always going to be with foreign competition. So that's where we in a lot of tenders, we might not necessarily be L1, but in terms of value, what we give to the customer, we're always V1 because price is what you pay and value is what you get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. So price is what you pay and value is what you get. And you are V1 always, even though if you're not L1. Brilliant, brilliant. Learn, apply, and make significant difference. That's the learning I am taking. Although you are in India, you don't look at competition as competition. It's good to have competition. Don't be afraid. You can learn from
Correct.
their best practices as well.
Correct.
Wow. Excellent. Now, as a parting advice, it could be more than one. What is it that you would tell the budding entrepreneurs or the aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, or even those who are in the business? What could be that one or two advices that you would like to give for them to scale their business?
So the number one is, there's a lot of impact on one of Sadhguru's talks that he had put up, where he talks that as a leader is basically anybody who people follow. Not
Right,
necessarily for him to say that you follow me, but people will genuinely follow. And a leader is somebody who shows them the path of something that is bigger than themselves. So
right,
that's the reason why a Gandhiji, a Martin Luther King, or even a Modi today have all been phenomenal leaders, right? So
right,
the three I's that every leader, every entrepreneur has to remember, and subsequently even percolate it down into his leadership team, is that the first is integrity. Integrity is saying what you're doing and doing what you're saying. As simple as that. So if at the moment you have any qualms on the integrity there, the the leadership quotient of yours goes down dramatically. So you
right,
need to be in highest form of integrity that you can be. The second is the ability to inspire. So the spoken word, the written word, these are two methods of communication which kind of is what the other guy can be communicated to. So what you
right,
speak, how you speak, when you speak matters a lot. And to the customer, okay, that's the salesmanship. But what you talk about to your employees, to your people, to your suppliers, that really comes to be a lot. So you need to be able to be inspiring a bunch of people to be following you, which is where it happens. That's the reason why in history you have all these speeches which are given, and those are
correct,
speeches which arouse. I have a dream. Martin Luther King said that, and he
correct,
like Simon Sinek says, that he never said I have a plan.
correct,
He always said I have a dream, but how that dream
correct,
will be accomplished, God only knew. But that
correct,
was enough for people because they saw it much bigger than themselves, and people came
correct,
up. Even on those days without WhatsApp, the kind of crowds
correct.
they were able to rouse is phenomenal. And the last
Absolutely.
one, which I think is the most important one, where most of us miss out, is the insights. Every action we take, every data point that we have, right? We are stuck to those data points. Where there is data points, we try to make some sense out of it. But converting that data into intelligence, that intelligence into knowledge, that knowledge into insights or wisdom, that is a true path at which this happens. So that insight might be a single word insight, or it might be something big. So today we actually have a chat GPT or a bard where if you plug in a Excel sheet to it, it will actually list out the insights to you. That was
Correct.
actually the job of the leader. So if the
Correct.
leader learns how to use it well, it can augment his own things. So the three I's is, even if you follow these three things, I think you can become a incrementally better leader, because
Wow.
like your one with a 1% increment every day, you will reach 36.7 in like 1 year. If you
Correct.
take 0.1% in less effort every day, it will actually end up as like next to nothing.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
consistency of action, the resilience, and being motivated and staying positive, these are three
Super.
important lessons I would leave.
Super, super. So I would say that forget about the AI, but have these three HIs, which is integrity, inspiration, and I forgot the third one. See, I,
No,
third I,
it is not inspiration, it is ability to inspire.
ability to
The
inspire, and the
third eye is insights. Insights.
ins- insight. So data speaks to you, a lot of information speaks to you. How do you analyze it? How do you take that knowledge, convert it into wisdom and insights? That's what.
Correct.
Brilliant, brilliant.
And
Thank you
the
so much.
last one, since you asked me for two, this was one, and the last one is keep learning, because
Keep learning.
the day you stop learning is the day you stagnate. And learning also, if you take it in a little focused manner, every learning that you do, if you take it upon yourself saying, I will take some action about it, minimum to minimum, I will park it that after 3 months, I will do this, and just put it on a to do list with a particular date of the future, no problem. But every learning that we do, please action it. So that is the reason why a lot of people sit into free webinars, so to
Mm,
speak, and they just spend 1 hour and they say it was free, but it's not free. You
correct,
spent 1 hour of your life onto that. So if you
correct.
do not take even if you pay 1 lakh for a webinar and you get two ideas out of it, which if you implement, change your life, it is actually cheap.
Absolutely.
So
So that's the fourth I, implement whatever you learn. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much, Dr. Raghu, for taking the time out today from your busy schedule. I know it's a
pleasure.
Sunday, but still taking the time out and coming and enlightening our audience with your wisdom. I'm sure that there are a lot of takeaways that they're going to have. That's
Right.
all in episode of the BizWiz Talk Show. See you with another episode very, very soon. For more such information on how you can grow your business, please visit my website https colon backslash backslash shankarvishwanath.com, and you will find a lot of resources that you can download free from there. You'll also find an ebook that you can download, which will give you an action plan for the next 90 days that you can take to improve and grow your business. See you very soon in another episode of the BizWiz Talk Show. Till then, take care, goodbye, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.